On the morning of Friday the 13th, in September 24, a shocking crime tore through the quiet community of Luton, England. 18-year-old Nicholas Prosper murdered his own family, his mother, Juliana Prosper, aged 48, his sister Giselle, just 13, and his brother Kyle, 16. All three were killed in the early hours of the morning in the flat they shared. The weapon Nicholas chose was a double-barreled shotgun. In those dark hours, his own mother and siblings were brutally gunned down. Later, an inquest revealed the terrible details. All three victims had gunshot wounds to the head. Kyle, Nicholas's teenage brother, had suffered more than 100 knife wounds in addition to the fatal shots. His younger sister Giselle had been shot in the face. This bloodshed was not random. It was not spontaneous. Authorities discovered that this massacre at home was just the first phase of a plan Nicholas had been plotting for over a year. His ultimate goal was something even more devastating: a mass shooting at his former primary school. Police investigations uncovered that Nicholas Prosper had intended to launch an assault on St. Joseph's Catholic Primary School in Luton, the very school he once attended. He had studied its layout, its security, and intended to use his knowledge to kill as many as 30 people before taking his own life. Thankfully, that second part of his plan never came to pass. Instead, Nicholas was arrested before he could carry it out, and in March 25, at Luton Crown Court, he was sentenced to life imprisonment, with a minimum term of 49 years. The killing shocked Britain. The United Kingdom has not seen a mass school shooting since the Dunblane massacre in '96, but in recent years there have been a growing number of foiled or unsuccessful plots. Nicholas Prosper's crime stood out, both in its brutality and in its chilling preparation. To understand the weight of what happened, we must look at who the Prosper family were. Juliana Prosper was born in Mar del Plata, in Argentina's Buenos Aires province, on June 4, 1976. She later migrated to England, where she married Ray Prosper, and together they had 4 children. By 24, Juliana was living with 3 of those children, including Nicholas, in a flat off Wildoods Bank Drive in Luton. Nicholas himself had been born on December 18, 2005. As a child, he was often described as quiet, a little geeky, with a strong interest in computers. Early in his teenage years, he had a group of friends, but as he grew older, he became increasingly isolated. Observers noted that he displayed traits sometimes associated with autism spectrum disorder. But during the trial, experts were clear. This was not the reason for his crimes. His actions were not the product of such traits. They were the result of something far darker. Even in his online life, troubling signs appeared. At one point, Nicholas was banned from a website that documented death imagery after he posted pro-pedophilia comments. Investigators later found that he had developed a disturbing obsession with school shootings. Among these, the Sandy Hook Elementary School massacre held particular fascination for him. He spoke of wanting to kill around 30 people, hoping to surpass the death toll of other notorious shooters before ending his own life. The Prosper case sits within a troubling international pattern: familicides followed by planned mass attacks, often inspired by prior incidents, have been documented worldwide. The Waller killings, the Broken Arrow murders, and the 2012 school shooting were cited during court proceedings as examples of how obsession with notoriety can influence behavior.
11:30 last night, the 911 call comes in. It's silent. No one on the line. When police arrive to investigate, they see 2 young men running out of the back door of the home. Canines soon track down 18-year-old Robert Beaver and his 16-year-old brother in the woods behind the home. Inside, horror. 5 members of the brothers' family found stabbed to death. Their parents, David and April Beaver, their 12 and 17-year-old brothers, and their 5-year-old sister. 2 siblings survived the rampage. A 13-year-old sister is in the hospital tonight, and the family's baby, a 2-year-old girl, the only one left unhurt. Neighbors say this family has been a mystery for years.
The date he chose for this imagined attack was no accident: Friday the 13th. His chosen location was also deliberate: his old primary school, St. Joseph's, a place he knew inside and out. Unlike many mass shooters, he had not been bullied there, but he selected it simply because he believed he could carry out his plan effectively. In August of 24, Nicholas attempted to buy a gun, but failed. Yet, he didn't stop there. On September 12th, the very day before the murders, he succeeded. For $650, Nicholas purchased a double-barreled shotgun and 100 cartridges from a local dealer. He used a fake firearms license, one he had crafted himself after painstakingly researching the precise details, logos, signatures, and even the type of paper on which official licenses were printed. The forgery was so convincing that the dealer accepted it as genuine. The dealer did notify police of the purchase, but Nicholas was not arrested. That same day, Nicholas spent hours online. His searches were chilling. He looked for instructions on how to kill with a shotgun. He researched necrophilia. He searched about the murder of Sarah Everard, a crime that had horrified the UK years earlier. In the early hours of the day of the murders, Nicholas uploaded a video to the site Mega, later shared across social media. In it, he declared himself a follower of Clementine, a fictional character from the Walking Dead video game. He even referred to his sister Giselle with contempt, referencing a choice she had made while playing the game months before, promising her face would be mutilated further than necessary. Prosecutors would later say that this odd detail was not relevant to the crime, but it underscored the strange, detached world Nicholas inhabited. From midnight until about 4:30 in the morning, Nicholas stayed awake, researching and watching extreme animated pornography. At one point, he test-fired the shotgun inside his room, blasting a teddy bear. His original plan had been cold and calculated, to kill his mother and siblings in their sleep. He believed that if he fired 3 shots in under 30 seconds, the neighbors would not hear or would not react in time. But the plan did not unfold as he imagined. His mother, Juliana, woke earlier than he expected and saw him armed with the shotgun. A struggle broke out. Juliana fought for her life, sustaining defensive wounds on her hands and arms, as Nicholas also attacked her with a knife. That struggle ended when Nicholas shot her in the head at close range. She collapsed in the hallway, her body later found there by police. The gunshot woke Giselle. She ran, but Nicholas fired at her, grazing her head. Terrified, she fled into the living room, trying to hide under a dining table, but Nicholas pursued her and shot her in the face, killing her instantly. Meanwhile, Kyle tried to defend himself. He grabbed a knife from the kitchen, but Nicholas shot him in the chest. What followed was an unspeakable assault. Nicholas stabbed and slashed Kyle more than 100 times, even as his brother begged for his life. Despite catastrophic injuries, including a punctured lung, Kyle somehow managed to stagger into the hallway, but there, Nicholas fired a final shotgun blast into his head at close range. In total, Nicholas fired 7 cartridges inside the flat and reloaded the weapon at least twice. Neighbors later reported the horrific sounds: shouting, fighting, banging. One woman, hearing the noises around 5 a.m., went to the flat to complain. She described hearing banging and ruffling and the groaning of a boy. Then came a sound like a gunshot, and she fled in terror. At 5:29 a.m., the first 999 call was made. CCTV captured Nicholas leaving the flat at 5:33 a.m. Police arrived at the scene around 5:50 and forced their way in by 6:08. Inside, they found the bodies of Juliana, Giselle, and Kyle. Bloodstains and bloody handprints covered the flat. Several bloodied knives were scattered inside. On Juliana's body lay a book, How to Kill Your Family. By then, Nicholas had already left, walking towards St. Joseph's Primary School. He carried the shotgun, now reloaded, and 33 cartridges in a large bag. But the heavy police presence in the early hour meant the school was not yet open. Nicholas hid instead in a wooded area for more than 2 hours. During this time, he uploaded the video where he referenced The Walking Dead at 6:22 a.m. He also disposed of 2 mobile phones, claiming he did so to protect a group of pedophiles he had communicated with online. At one point, he abandoned his bag with the shotgun and ammunition in bushes at a playing field. At 7:55 a.m., Nicholas emerged from hiding. He walked down Birmingham Road and flagged down a passing police car, raising his hand. He later told police that he believed schools across the area would now be locked down, and with his plan foiled, he decided to surrender. The officers noticed blood on his face. They arrested him immediately. During the arrest, Nicholas insisted repeatedly, "It's not murder." He was
maybe given an evidence. Birmingham Road. 46 priority. Birmingham Road, I think we've got the offender.
It's not murder.
He was charged with 3 counts of murder: purchasing or acquiring a shotgun without a certificate, possession of a shotgun, and possession of a bladed article in public. Investigators also uncovered indecent images of children on his phone, but given the severity of the other crimes, no further charges were pursued. At the time of his arrest, Nicholas was wearing striking yellow and black clothing. This, prosecutors later argued, was his attempt at creating a uniform, a way to cement his own notoriety. At his first court appearance on September 16, 2024, Nicholas was led away as his father, Ray Prosper, shouted through tears, "I still love you, son. It's not your fault, okay?" The trial was originally scheduled for December 5th, but was delayed until March 3, 2025. On February 24th, just before the trial began, Nicholas pleaded guilty to all charges, including the 3 murders. Chillingly, through his prison writings and conversations, Nicholas expressed regret, not for what he had done, but for not being able to kill more people. On March 19th, Mrs. Justice Chima Grubb sentenced him to life imprisonment with a minimum term of 49 years. At first, Nicholas refused to attend court for sentencing, but the judge ordered he be brought. The following day, his sentence was referred to the Attorney General under the unduly lenient sentence scheme. Critics questioned why such a heinous crime involving the murders of 2 children did not warrant a whole life order. Conservative Shadow Justice Minister Kieran Mullen asked, "What exactly does someone have to do in this country to be sent away for whole life?" But Bedfordshire's Police and Crime Commissioner, John Tizard, supported the judge's decision. And on July 16, 2025, the Court of Appeal rejected the appeal, upholding the 49-year minimum sentence.
Members of his family, and also planned to carry out one of the biggest massacres of the 21st century, has been sentenced to life in prison with a minimum of 49 years. 19-year-old Nicholas Prosper killed his mother, his brother and sister at their home in Luton in September last year.
The case of Nicholas Prosper remains one of the most shocking in recent British history. It was not only a triple family murder, it was almost a mass school shooting. The killings revealed a young man consumed by dark obsessions, with a meticulous plan for destruction that thankfully was stopped before it escalated further. Still, for the families, the community, and the nation, the tragedy is haunting. 3 lives, Juliana, Giselle, and Kyle, were stolen in the most brutal way, and a father was left broken, forced to reconcile love for his son with the unbearable truth of what he had done.